Hey y'all, welcome to Lamb Living. Today we're going to start off in my piano room. This is the curio cabinet and we're going to transform it to make it Frosty's sweet shop. And at first I'm going to take that beautiful painting. It's a jazz painting by a lady in my church. She gave it to us. And I'm going to cover it with some wrapping paper. And of course here I'm at the Dollar Tree. And you see I'm doing a kind of a blue theme in the piano room this year. So lots of good choices there. But I'm going to use that really tall one there in the middle. You'll see the one that I chose with the snowflakes on it. And it was just the perfect size for this painting. And so I'm not, it's going to keep the frame protected and the canvas protected. This artist is a friend, and she gave us this painting many years ago, but she still goes to our church and is doing well. So I love this painting, and I wouldn't want to change it out ever or do anything to it. It's very dear to me. But for Christmas, we're just going to cover her up just for a little while. And I'm just going to wrap this like a present, like I would if I were wrapping a present. And just using some Scotch tape that will easily come off. This is leftover from last year when I bought lots of ribbon at Sam's. This, of course, is the Sam's ribbon. And it's, got 50 yards on it. So it's not 50 feet, it's 50 yards. These things last forever. And I threw away those scissors. Those scissors had seen a better day. So I'm going to go ahead and tape it here on the back just lightly and loosely so that when I flip this around, I can keep my ribbons in the middle. Because as you know, if you've ever used Dollar Tree wrapping paper, it is thin, which is fine with me. I'm okay with that. There's nothing worse than getting a present wrapped in some fancy wrapping paper that you just can't tear. And so I don't mind Dollar Tree wrapping paper at all. I love it, actually. It makes it really fun for people to tear. Now, I went ahead and made the bow. You see, I just tied them in, square knots there in the middle, and then I zip-tied the bow to it. And I think it's going to be the perfect backdrop for my little Frosty's scene here. I took those little bitty boxes, and I'll show you what those are in a minute. That's from my penny shopping, those little boxes. And I'll show you those in a minute, but I use the same wrapping paper, just, some texture and some height. So we have our backdrop. Now we're going to head out to the Big Flea. This is the Humane Society thrift shop that we have in Brunswick. I live here in South Georgia in Glenn County. And the good thrift shops, we have one thrift shop on St. Simon's, but the good thrift shops are in Brunswick. And so I found this interesting frame. And if you have the IOD stamp set, Frosty's Sweet Shop, then you know that the sign is very similar to this one. So I thought the stamp sign in that particular set was going to go great in this little frame from the thrift store. So I'm using my favorite white. It's an off-white. It's plaster by Waverly that I get at Walmart. And it reads white unless you got white right up next to it. But it's the white that I always use. Now here I come in with the second coat. The first coat's dry. But it was pulling up, because this was glass, it was pulling up the first coat a little bit. And I'm showing you there. So, Mod Podge Matte to the rescue. I just dried, that little bit that I had started. And then I gave it a really good coat. Now, this is the Mod Podge from little bottles you get at the Dollar Tree, which those are so handy. They're so handy, so I sometimes even will pour, I'd refill it. But I'm going to put a nice thick coat on. Anytime I squirt paint or squirt Mod Podge, I always put too much, but it worked out. Now, you can see that Mod Podge Matte is not matte. You have to use the Super Matte for that. But this worked out because I got a bonus. The coverage was great. I got my second coat on without any pulling up of the paint. Just painted right over that Mod Podge. And, wait for it, I got some crackle. So normally you have to get crackle by leaving the glue dry or wet. But my glue was dry, but check it out. I got a bonus. So pretty. Crackle is so fickle. Sometimes it'll do it and sometimes it won't. But anyway. All right, so I flip it over, and I don't want this to peel either. So I'm going to go ahead and seal the edges with that Mod Podge, and then I'm going to paint over it all the way until I put the backing back in so I have the easel. And so I'm just sealing up those edges. I don't want those to peel off. And then using my plaster. Now I'm getting to the bottom of this. You can see I'm really digging deep for this paint. So I end up using, plaster in all my DIYs here. But we're going to have to get a little creative. Look at this adorable stamp set. Oh, goodness. Now, it comes with a little clear sheet over the stamps. I obviously have used these already. I've already seasoned them and used them. But look, I'm using the thin mount you can buy from IOD as well because I want it to be right in the center. So now I ink by patting. I don't swirl. I don't want to get the ink on the sides of the stamp. I just want it on the top of that seasoned stamp. And so you see that blue line and the red arch. I know that it's in the center of this frame because I'm using that thin mount. And those thin mounts they're like $4. They're very inexpensive. And I cut them up. I've got a couple of them. And a perfect stamping. I hold one hand still and move with the other hand, and I get a perfect stamping every time. Now, this archival ink by Ranger that I get at Hobby Lobby, and you can also get it at Michael's, it's permanent ink, but I'm going to be doing a little treatment on this, so I don't want any surprises. So, it was a pretty day, so I just used a little bit of Rust-Oleum matte. Clear coat. And so we're off to Hobby Lobby. Now, there's the Rub and Buffs. Love Rub and Buff, but I'd never done anything with the Deco Art metallic lusters. And so I had a gift card, and so I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get a few of these since I had my gift card. And I got the White Frost, the Champagne Ice, and the Brilliant Turquoise. And so I'm going to use that on all my Frosties sweet shop items that I'm going to be making for my curio. And with my blue theme there, yep, that's the White Frost. And then we'll use the Brilliant Turquoise on not this sign, but one of the other ones with my snowman sign and one of the snowflakes. But look how pretty. I'm just using a little detail brush, and then I'm rubbing it with my finger. And this is the Champagne Ice. And I'm just putting it in the little cracks and crevices there just to give it a little bit of something. And then I was going to use the Champagne Ice and the White Frost and just do the letters, but I was all over the place. So I just tried to spread it around. And turns out, after I figure out that it is water soluble and I can clean it up with just a wet paper towel, I'll go ahead and fill in the whole sign there, but it kind of makes it stand out from the pretty frame. So there I go. It is water soluble and it cleaned up beautifully. I just went right around with water on a paper towel. That's just a clean paper towel. And so I just went ahead and detailed it, and this little shimmer that it gives is so pretty. There, I'm just kind of cleaning it up. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to go get the other colors as well. Look how pretty that just stands out. Oh, I love that stuff. It's so pretty. All right, so we're adding the sign. There we go. Picking up a little bit of the lights in the room. I have a lot of lights in this room because it's my piano room, so it's very well lit. And that frame turned out so great. All right, now, time for penny shopping. I love to penny shop. And so you can see what comes up on my app when I scan things that are a penny. It comes up 000. And it's not just stuff. There's the Truvia boxes that I wrapped with that wrapping paper, and the Truvia's still in there. So I paid, what did that say, $123, $127, something like that. And each one of those items was just a penny. And so Dollar General does this regularly. You have to kind of watch, let's see, some of the websites or some of the YouTube channels I watch are Brenna's Bargains. I'll link a few down below. Christie's Connections and Easy Coupons are good ones to also Running Kimono. Those are some good YouTube channels to watch out, and they'll let you know when they'll have clearance events, and you can get really good buys. Okay, since I was running low on my plaster, I wanted the plaster to be the outer coat, but I went ahead and just used my Snow White chalk paint to cover up everything. I wanted everything to be, I wanted to make a true blank. And I left the backs just white, but I can always go back and decoupage or stamp something on the backs for winter, you know, make it reversible. Or a lot of times I'll just put, you see the plaster up to the white, you can see the little bit of difference. It's a winter white for sure. But a lot of times I'll decoupage music on the back and use them for layering on cheer trays and whatnot. So there we go. We got our plaster on there. Now, Kevin and I went to Big Lots last weekend, and we were looking at the blow-ups, but I found this wall art, and these wall art pieces were gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Most of them were $4.99, but this snowman was $3.99. So I got these. They did have 10% off for friends and family that day, but they were full price, but you know, I got 10% off, so a little something. But just if you're seeing this the day before Thanksgiving, Big Lots is open on Thanksgiving, and their Christmas will be half off in the morning, just FYI. I'm doing this voiceover the night before Thanksgiving. Okay, so the stick-em on the back was okay and probably would have worked just fine for the technique that I'm going to do. But a lot of times with these wall art pieces, if I were going to leave them and not paint over them, I would want to do this, a little bit of Aleene's and just dab, dab, dab of hot glue on the corners for the quick glue and let the Aleene's set so that it wouldn't pop off. And it looks beautiful just like that. You know, there was nothing wrong with that. But again, I'm going to do a kind of a blue theme in the piano room this year. And so the red, I don't have any reds right now. It's, if anything, it's, you know, coarse green for the Christmas tree and the greenery that I put in the Christmas tree. You'll get a little glimpse of that in the end at the final reveal. But those are beautiful, just like that. I love those wall decals. And they had a lot at Big Lots, a lot. So if you like this sort of thing like I do, then you might want to check them out. Okay, now I want to get a textured paint, and I'm trying to make this plaster go a little farther. So I poured about 1-to-1 baking soda to the chalk paint, and I'm going to get it a nice thick coat all in the edges there, so it looks like this snowflake is just a part of this piece. That's one coat. Covered pretty well. I will go back and put a little bit more plaster on it. Now the Dollar Tree, this is the Dollar Tree. They also have textured stickers. These came out last year, I believe, with their first years. That was their debut. And they have all kinds of different ones. I've used that hedgehog in those trees before in past videos. But I'm going to take home, yep, they got some real cute stuff. I'm going to take home this one because I'm in a collab this weekend with gingerbread. And so I might use some of those for gingerbread. But anyway, I'm going to take this one little, flip it over. I'm going to take that big puffy sticker, which these stick them on the back of these because I just used the Big Lots ones. And these are the ones from the Dollar Tree, much stickier. The Dollar Tree ones, surprising enough, cheaper and stickier. So I was okay with that. I did not do any Aleene's or any hot glue at all on this little guy. But he got the same treatment and he'll get another coat. Okay, so this sign I got for a penny, and it was the perfect size for my snowman. And so I go to try to loosen that glue, like I, take off stickers. And that D, E, T, and R were all raised. And so as I was working on it, I realized that the glue that was holding it in the frame was coming off a whole lot easier than those letters. So I'm just going to flip it over. Now, holding that thing in there was a little bit of glue and these teeny tiny little nails. So now I had my glasses on. I'll show you here that I did have glasses on, yes. Protect your eyes. And I just used a little pair of needle nose pliers I got those from the Dollar Tree in the spring, and took those out of there. All right, so this frame is going to get the same, it's going to be plaster, and I am going to put a coat of the textured paint on top as well. And this is back to the Big Lots, so I didn't want this bubbling up in any way. So we put the alines. I like this bottle. I've been using this particular bottle for a long time, and it's the kind that it sits in its stand upside down, so it's always ready to go. I really like that bottle. And just a little bit of hot glue. Just trying to keep the glue strings from in the middle and not coming out on the sides, but you know how glue strings are. And so there he is, all cutesy. And he looks darling just like that, but he's going to get the same treatment. And then he's going to get metallic luster. And he's very cute like that, though. Okay, so let's get him incorporated into the sign as well. I just like this technique. I've used it many times on lots of different things. Now, I am going to be using that metallic luster, and I always like to seal my paint. So it's just going to get a coat of the Rust-Oleum Matte Clear. We've had real mild weather here in South Georgia. All right, so I'm using now the Brilliant Turquoise is going to go on these, as well as the White Frost and the Champagne Ice. Oh, and here's my little friend. That's Yuri. He's our neighborhood cat. He was inside. We had the back sliding door open. So he comes in. I keep water out for him. And so he had to come up and say hello. He was hoping that I would sit back and let him sit in his lap, but I had business to do, Yuri. You can sit in my lap later, buddy. Go on. He knows. Oh, I think Kevin was watching TV, so I think he went and sat in his lap. All right. So that is the Champagne Ice, and this is the White Frost. I love this stuff, and it's like Rub and Buff in that I just barely used anything to get this effect. These things are going to last forever. Okay, now watch this. This I was a little afraid of. It's pretty bright. You know, I was trying to get a kind of a neutral thing going on, and but it's so pretty. And you'll see I'm going to put it on the snowman as well, on his scarf, and the snowflake on the snowman. And it's so pretty. And shiny. I'll show it to you a little closer. Yep, I'm just going to buff it in. I put a little bit of the white on top. So pretty. I love that combo right there. Yep. And then the Champagne Ice was perfect for our little gingerbread boy. I found it easier to use a little detail brush so that I didn't get it in any of the texture. But I do put it up in some of the corners, and then I'm going to put the white on the roof for a little bit of snow effect, because it still has that textured paint. You see I'm working right over the snowman there, and so he's next. Okay, so I'm going to use all three on him. He's kind of the pièce de résistance. And look, there's the ice, and then I made his hat brown. See, I think there's other colors. I know there's a copper, and I already had got these because I didn't have. There's a gold. I had all the Rub and Buffs in those colors, and but it reads a little bit different than the Rub and Buff, which I'm a huge fan of. It's a little more subtle, I want to say. It's called Metallic Luster. It's it's just a nice product. I really like it. Okay, now that little snowflake, and we're just going to glue it right back into that frame, and our snowman will be done. In my vignette, I only put the words on. I only have words on the stamp on that sign, on that frame. I don't feel like I have to have words on everything. Nothing wrong with that, but I didn't feel like this needed it. I wanted the pretty paint textures and luster to be the show. Okay, and that's exactly what it looks like right now. I did not put a backing on it. I might eventually, but nobody's going to see it. It's not a mirror back there. I've wrapped the painting. Okay, so there he is. I just put it on a brass little stand there. And there's our little house and our little chunkies. Remember, all those chunkies and that sign with the snowman on it were just a penny. And all of those presents there, that's just some sweetener package. There they are. And they were a penny each. It's so much fun. Kevin even gets into it. And so I'm trying to use it. You know, it's not hoarding if you use it. I do have lots of stuff in my craft room that I need to dig out, but that I haven't seen in a while. But I'm trying to use things as I bring them in, and then, you know, of course, incorporate my craft room stuff into it as well. It was my New Year's resolution last year to get my craft room back into a craft room and not a storage room. But I'm working right there. I work at the kitchen counter. It's not on the kitchen side, it's on the little dinette side, but it's a great place to work because I can still hear the TV and be involved in what's going on in the room, you know, and I can stop and do whatever I need to in the kitchen. Now this little guy, I liked the thickness of the tinsel on this little garland, and I ended up cutting off because those little presents were on with globs of glue. And so I cut them off. And then I just wrapped my little, because I wanted a little golden shimmer to it. We weren't necessarily going silver with the blue. I thought we could do silver or gold. And that you'll see that in my the tree as well. But I went ahead and unwrapped these, and I don't know if you've ever unwrapped these before. They are just little pieces of styrofoam. And that tie was on with another glob of glue. They were crazy with the glue. All right, so I'm just going to wrap these like I would wrap a present. And I don't know if you wrap presents like I do, but I feel like I have a universal style of wrapping presents. My trick is don't be too generous on your sides. Make sure they're small and they will go to a point every time. If you're not folding things, you know, it's not too much on the sides. Keep it small. Keep it just what you need. If you have extra, then you're going to have bulky sides and they're not going to meet. That little point's not going to meet in the middle. So that's my little tip on wrapping a present. And we're looking so cute. Okay, now this is roses. We have a Roses Express in Brunswick, which I love, love, love. And they have lots of pretty things out. Look at that little candy thing. And they're pricing a lot of $3.99, a lot of $1.25. And then these cutie patooties were $2.99. So they were $3, and then they had the larger one. But they have lots of stuff at the Roses. It was fun to go shop. Okay, this little canister, 1 penny. Yeah, it had some really scary looking greenery in it. I took that out, and I saved the greenery. It's not hoarding if you use it. So I'll use it at some point. But I just used my X-Acto and made a nice little cylindrical hole. And I'm going to put my blue tree in it. So you see, I put some Scotch tape backwards around my fingertips. And I've got a little piece of plastic here that I'm going to roll up. You see my hand, I'm dabbing all over to get these little balls. I don't want these going all over the place. So I got the extra ones up with my little wrapped hand of tape. I do that a lot at school too. To get, if I take staples out of something that I used on a bulletin board, I'll just wrap my hand backwards with the tape, the stickums on the outside, and that picks up those staples. All right, so we're just going to shove it down in that styrofoam and glue it. And then I don't think I show this, but I got some Epsom salts out for my snow to cover up that styrofoam. Yep. I just put some little skinny little dowels. They were actually lollipop sticks down in the hole there while the glue was setting so that it would stand up nice and straight. Okay, now I'm going to put some of these, both of these florals are from the Dollar Tree. I got them out of my craft room, not hoarding if you use it. I'm trying to use things. But I didn't want any of the green on my little blue tree. Isn't that the prettiest color blue? I just love that colonial blue. I guess it's a baby blue. I don't know. Maybe it's a colonial blue. It's very Williamsburg blue to me. We lived for, let's see, was it 12 years? Yeah, Aaron was 12 when we moved. And he was born the week after we moved to Virginia. We lived in Roanoke, Virginia for 12 years. And we loved Roanoke. But the church where my husband works now called us down here. And we've loved St. Simon's. We've lived here 17 years. Love it. Okay, now I found these little stars at the Family Dollar up in a buggy up in the front. They had marked them down to 25 cents. So I'm just going to make a very inconspicuous, beautiful little sparkly star for the top of my tree. I had thought about just letting the florals stand on their own, but I don't know, it just needed something. It needed something. And a little sparkle sounded nice. So gets its little sparkle as well. I didn't put any glitter on any of the florals. I wanted to leave them matte, but just a sparkly star. And I was doing this backwards. I couldn't see what I was doing. But anyway, I just wanted to get it in there straight. I ended up putting a little bit more hot glue on the back on this side before I leave it alone. But there we go. Yeah. And there it is. So pretty. I just love that little blue tree. I had a hard time not buying the pink one, but I just don't have a lot of pink in my house. I do have a lot of blue. And so you can see the Epsom salts there, just hiding that styrofoam. And I just love the way this looks. Oh my goodness. So fun. Okay, you get a little glimpse of my frosted tree there with some blue. And how many of you have this in your house somewhere from the Dollar Tree? Oh my goodness, those little tin stand-ups are so cute for $5. Santa Claus is in the right as we go outside by the sliding glass door. Oh, I love it so much. I want to read to you a beautiful psalm of thanksgiving. It says, "The Lord is my strength and my shield. In him my heart trusts, and I am helped. My heart exults, and with my song, I give thanks to him," capital H, him. And I hope as we're having Thanksgiving tomorrow, and every day is Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful for every breath. I'm so thankful for you for watching my videos. Thank you so much for supporting me here. I hope you'll hit that subscribe button and come back and hit the like button. Leave me a comment. And God bless from the Blue House on the Corner, feeling just thankful. Love y'all, and see you next time.